doing? Huh? How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Good holiday.
I did.
Good.
How about you?
I did. Thank you.
Did you guys have like a lot of family over? Or?
Yes, we went up to our cottage and had all the family there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Was the weather good or was it really snowy out there?
It was okay. I
Okay.
mean, it was real windy.
Am I bringing that?
Sure. You just want me to have a seat right here in the first two seats.
No problem, no problem.
On the record, Jody Mosley versus Juan Han Kyun.
Han, sir.
And,
Jung-Han Han.
Thank you, sir. He's appeared by Zoom, and Mr. Mosley is here in person. This is file 2102431 GC. This matter was assigned to this court on disqualification. The matter was set for pretrial conference on November 22, and plaintiff failed to appear. The case was dismissed. Mr. Mosley has now filed two motions, one to remove this court as impartial and a second motion to set aside the dismissal. First of all, with regard to the motion to disqualify, sir, you have not placed any other than personal reasons with regard to this matter. The court has not, you have not attached an affidavit of facts, and the court doesn't find any reason to disqualify its own court. Do you have anything to add to that motion?
Well, first of all, I assumed that you were the actual judge that I had an issue with, but you're not. And that was one of the issues.
So you're withdrawing that motion for disqualification?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll move on to the motion to set aside the dismissal. You filed the complaint, sir. You were the plaintiff. You filed the motion at 310 South Holmes in Lansing. You filed your other filings from 310 South Holmes. That's the only address the court had with regard to your residence. And now you want to set aside the dismissal because we didn't send it to the right address.
Right. I was in the hotel, ma'am.
Well, it's your responsibility to let the court know where you want notices sent to.
Well, I did.
When did you do that?
I did actually one of the actual clerks. I filed the actual paperwork.
Do you have some proof of that, sir?
Well, I had nothing but the actual documents that I submitted to the court. And it had the actual 2211 Village Inn, room 4, Hope, Michigan.
When did that came in on your notice of hearing and motion for the most recent filing?
Well, I got all the other ones here as well.
You collect those up.
All of them have the actual dates on them. And I got some other ones here that basically say the same. But I haven't changed the actual address. I'll just say 310.
The documents that you provided to the court are everything after the notice of dismissal.
Well, I mean,
We needed something that notified the court before November 22 of a change of address. In any event, your argument is that you didn't get notice of the hearing. Is that the issue?
very much, yes, ma'am.
Okay, in setting aside a dismissal, the same as setting aside a default, sir, you have a two-pronged test. One is good cause as to why you failed to appear, and then a meritorious action. So I've heard the part about, you didn't get notice of the hearing and the court finds that to be an issue that you could raise. But what is your actual action in this matter?
As far as you talking about the landlord or the action towards this actual case being dismissed?
The underlying action itself.
Well, the action is that this landlord was harassing. He had his neighbors or the tenants harassing me. In the basement, it was a sewage pipe that had 3 different splinters on
So
it
that you were a tenant
of his housing.
okay. And did you leave on your own accord or were you
Yes, I had
evicted?
to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and now you're suing for some kind of damages back on him as to,
He was trying to force me into a second lease. I was being harassed by the neighbors.
okay, I don't need to know anymore. All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Hahn, do you have anything you wanted to add with regard to this matter?
Yes, I submitted my response to the court. I'm wondering whether that has been entered to the case.
Well, the only thing this court would have reviewed was whether or not Mr. Mosley actually got notice of that hearing. It would be the same as if you didn't get notice of a hearing and you'd have an expectation to be able to come to court, at least have your case heard. What is your most current address now, Mr. Mosley?
It's 2211 South Cedar Village Inn Hotel, room 4.
And that's full.
Yes, ma'am. And zip code is 48842.
All right. Well, the only reason this case was dismissed was because Mr. Mosley failed to appear, but he did not receive notice of the hearing. And so the court will reinstate the case and set it on for pretrial conference. And Mr. Juan, are you still at the Van Natta address in Okemos?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, notices will be sent to the 2 of you with regard to a new pretrial conference date. Anything else?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to say I very much apologize because I had you mistaken, and I am very deeply sorry about that.
Court will note that you have withdrawn your motion for disqualification. And we'll just set aside that dismissal only because you never got notice of the appropriate hearing date. So now a new hearing date will be set. That doesn't mean you win the case or lose
No.
the case. It just means that your case can be heard.
I'm understanding.
All
that,
right.
ma'am. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
and I thank you very much for
Yeah.
being understanding.
Thank you, appearing, but watch the mail for that notice.
Yes, ma'am. I'm in that hotel waiting just for that. That's
Okay.
the reason why I got this hotel room, so that I could have an address to get mail.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Hahn.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
So last pre-trial conference, I was told that I can submit my response to the case, and which I did, and I'm wondering whether that response has been received and entered by the court to the
Yes,
case.
you did file an answer to the original complaint, and that is in file. And
Okay.
so the next step is what's called a pretrial conference. And that's where the 2 of you have some conversation with regard to your case and whether or not it can be resolved. Or if it needs to go to trial, and nobody has filed a jury fee, there's already been a first demand, so no one's having a jury trial, but it could be a
Okay.
bench trial in front of a judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank-
Thanks, sir.
Good morning, Judge. I'm Crystal, and I'm your court making for today.
We haven't met before. I'm sorry, the name again?
Crystal Murphy. I don't think we've met before either.
Murphy. You get the big docket of things.
For today, the docket?
Yes.
I did. Andrew, I think she's just gonna be out today and tomorrow, and then she'll be back.
Oh,
She
okay.
gave me that.
All right, well, where have you been most recently assigned?
I've kind of been a little bit of everywhere. I was with Wayne prior to coming to Ingham, so I've kind of just been filling in when people are out, and then starting next month, I'm gonna be just one of the specially assigned CSE prosecutors.
Oh, okay. All right, well, welcome.
Thank you.
You
I
said Wayne
appreciate it.
County you came from?
I did.
We've had a couple of folks up from Wayne County.
Uh,
It wasn't Andrea from,
She was.
Okay.
Andrea, and then Jamie Nelson, and then, gosh, I think there was one other person.
we had somebody
too.
come real quick, but then they left to do something else.
Shoot, her name's on the tip of my tongue. Was it a female prosecutor?
Yes.
Her name's escaping me, but I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Someone's joined the Zoom meeting on the courtesy iPad. Can you please state your full name?
Elliot Love, good morning.
Thanks, sir.
Excuse
Your
me?
lawyer has not checked into the meeting yet. You're just a couple minutes early, so I'm just gonna put you in the waiting room. As soon as they appear, we will bring you back into the main meeting.
Great, thank you.
Lauren or one of them sent, Louise, I can't remember. Or maybe what they both did. I'm pretty sure, he sent one yesterday when he came on.
He just sent it for yesterday.
Well, he said, this is one, my last one for today, and then he sent, it also included his Tuesday, I think. I think I already wrote him down. I had that one. Forget it. I have it.
All right. I see it.
You got Tammy's. And she wasn't here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because Eddie is here.
So are you guys still scheduling or how is that working?
She's giving me dates,
Oh, okay.
so I know when I can, if it's just a reset.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
these are Judge DeLuca days that he'll do
Oh, okay.
misdemeanor, he'll do continuation misdemeanor cases, but
Mhm.
not newly initiated cases.
Okay.
And then it's due on obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for asking. So I can give you a date and Nathaniel's been creating a notice.
And then,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just roast it down on the file when you have a chance.
Yeah.
It's to sentencing. Josh said he didn't receive the PSR.
On the record, People versus Elliott Love, 2002037, scheduled for final pretrial conference. Council appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Crystal Murphy on behalf of the people, P 83362.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Franklin here on behalf of Mr. Love.
Thank you. And did you need to speak with Mr. Love in a breakout room today, Mr. Franklin?
No, Your Honor.
And you were able to check the hall for witnesses or anything?
And Your Honor, if I may have an opportunity to do that one more time, just to make sure no one's out there.
Sure, and I usually give about 10 minutes for that to happen as well, so.
Thank you for that.
Bench warrant for that P53 violation.
Your Honor, I did check out in the hallway. Unless she arrives in the next few minutes, we will not have a complaining witness for the final trial today.
All right, so Mr. Franklin, the court's gonna wait until 8:40. There have not been witnesses appeared as of yet, but I just want to give that opportunity to make sure they make it up to the sixth floor if they were going to appear before moving to a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hello,
How you doing?
could you adjust your mask, please?
Oh,
Get them all done.
Okay.
Thank
yeah,
you.
No problem.
But he's not on screen.
Oh. What are we waiting on?
Ms. Murphy.
Your Honor, upon checking the hallway for the second time, the complaining witness is not in the hallway, so the people do not have a complaining witness today.
Being unable to see, do you have a motion, Mr. Franklin?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense counsel would motion to dismiss the case.
Mr. Love, the people are unable to proceed today with this final pretrial conference. Your defense motion to dismiss is granted. It is granted without prejudice, so that if the people get other evidence together, then they do have an opportunity in their discretion to recharge the same offense. But today the case is dismissed, and we'll prepare Nolly for that.
Okay, thank you, Your
You're
Honor.
all set, Mr. Love. Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you. And who do we have in the courtroom today?
Martinez.
Martinez. And you're just an observer? Your lawyer has not checked into the Zoom meeting. It was at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to put you on an iPad so that you can have a confidential communication with her, and then we'll come back into the courtroom for your sentencing.
I wish I knew the Zoom. I would have came first.
Well, I had you come in person.
Okay.
She's going to Zoom in. So
Oh, okay.
you're in the right spot. You'll come back here after you've had that private conversation about your pre-sentence report. Martinez, I'm just gonna keep you in the waiting until Ms. Sutter checks in, and then we'll join the two of you in a breakout room.
Okay, ma'am. Hello.
You need to wear your mask in the building, sir. People versus Tracy Martin, 2100222, date and time scheduled for sentencing, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. And do you need to be in a breakout room with Mr. Martinez?
Just briefly, please.
Thank you. And Mr. Franklin?
Sure.
Just while they're waiting, did have a Renee Bingham, who has a church assignment, but it's not on either yours or Ms. Sutter's list. If you can look to see which one of you are handling that today. Renee Bingham.
Maybe they sent over a Nolly with that case yesterday, but she only had it listed for the 02080. She didn't send one for the other two cases as well. I don't know if she had all three of them to be dismissed.
Sure, if the court would like, I can email her.
It
see what we-
appears Ms. Bingham is represented by Ms. Sutter, but the notes indicate the cases were supposed to be dismissed.
He sent a nollie on one of the three, so we're checking with the prosecutor to see if all three should have been dismissed instead of just the
Okay.
one. Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Appreciate that.
Okay, she responded, her intention was to dismiss all three.
Okay. And they were on tickets, so I don't think she did an alley of them too.
Tara Simpson, have you joined the Zoom meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a video?
Um, oh, yep, there you go.
All right. Ms. Simpson, your lawyer is working with another client right now. As soon as she becomes available, we'll bring you back into the main meeting. You can have a conversation with her prior to your sentencing.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez, if you want to come back into the courtroom.
Okay. Just end this and walk in there.
Yeah, my clerk will come back and pick it up for me.
Okay.
Have a seat here. Ms. Sutter, did the two of you have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
We did, Your Honor.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections to that report?
Just one correction. He is no longer working with Wildlife Gallery. He's currently interviewing and waiting for a callback from GMC about a full-time position there.
So currently unemployed.
Correct.
Any allocution?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Martinez, from the moment I have met him regarding this case, has taken full responsibility for the mistakes he made with his animals. He was understanding immediately upon contact with the animal control that he was not being a proper and responsible pet owner, and he knew at that time he needed to make corrections. He did immediately surrender the animals over to animal control at that time, acknowledging fully that he was not doing what he should be as a pet owner and that he needed to make up for that. In the entirety of my time knowing him and speaking with him, he has continued that he made mistakes and that he is looking to correct them and move forward in a path that allows him to be a responsible person and to make right on what was done wrong. He was fully employed with Wildlife Gallery. He is clearly a pet lover, but is understanding that he has some growth to do in that department. He's currently looking into, as I previously stated, other areas of work. Like I said, he is interviewing with GMC right now. He's done a couple of interviews with them as well as their HR department, and is just waiting a call back from the holidays or after the holidays in regards to a position starting there. So I would ask Your Honor to adopt the recommendation of probation with one change. I would ask Your Honor to waive the attorney's fees in this, given that he is currently unemployed. Thank you.
Mr. Martinez, what do you want to tell the court today?
I'm sorry for what I've done to my animals and wish I could take it all back. I can't say.
The court did have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report, and the assessment was that you were at low risk for reoffending and that you have been contrite about this matter with regard to the animal event with you. And so the court does feel that fines and costs are the way to handle this case as opposed to a period of probation. So there is a fine of $150, court cost of $200, a $75 crime victim fee, and $50 state minimum cost. I will waive the attorney fee, but there is restitution of $189 to the Ingham County Animal Control. What I'm going to do, sir, is refer this matter to our collections division. You'll meet with someone today so you can work a payment plan on how to pay off these fines and costs in a reasonable time frame. And hopefully this will remind you not to be in care, custody, and control of animals that you can't afford to keep, or you're not able to have the resources to care for them adequately. All right, anything else that you need to know from the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right, my clerk will take you up to the counter so you can speak with someone from the collections division. And you are all set to stay with the court.
All right, thank you, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On the record, People versus Tara Simpson. 2101360, date and time scheduled for sentencing, counsel appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Ms. Simpson.
Did you want to be in a breakout room with her?
Just briefly, Your Honor, please.
Thank you. Simpson, will you join that breakout room? Ask her to come back in and see if there's any restitution that's been ever requested on the Simpson case.
Yeah.
I heard the court wanted to know about restitution.
Well, on this Tara Simpson case, when we did the plea, the agreement was to plead to the charge under 771.1 plus restitution. When our probation department checked with the dog bite victim, they were not requesting restitution, but I didn't know if any kind of animal control, because they euthanized the animal, were asking for restitution. So our department did, our probation checked with the victim in the sense of the dog bite victim, but not with animal control. So if you had any documentation on that,
I will pull that up really quick and see if
Okay.
we have anything noted.
all right, thank you. Back on the record, Ms. Sutter, I was just communicating with Ms. Murphy, the prosecutor, that our probation department had checked with the dog bite victim to see if there was restitution, and they had indicated, if you see the pre-sentence report, indicated no, but I wasn't sure if animal control had, because the animal had been euthanized. The agreement was that she'd plead under 771.1, ensuring that restitution would have been paid. And so I'm a little bit confused about whether it should be a 771.1 or a referral to collections, because she gets the advantage of a dismissal under 771.1, but there isn't any.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, I think that's the question I was kind of running into too. Or would you like us to wait until you hear back from them in regards to that, or how would you like to move forward with this?
She's looking right now to see if there's anything documentation from the animal control, but in my mind, I would put her on 771.1. If she paid, then she'd have the advantage of having that case dismissed. If she didn't pay, then it's on her. But I want to make sure that we include all that's necessary to be paid today at sentencing, rather than add it on because it was a part of your plea bargain in the initial plea in October.
Right.
And Your Honor, I am checking here, your courtroom APA does have a note restitution to victim, and it sounds like there was no restitution to the complainant in this case. I don't see any notations or any information about restitution to animal control, so I think we're all set.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you. Then Ms. Sutter, do the two of you have an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report?
We did, Your Honor.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections?
Just a minor, I suppose, addition or correction. Employed, it says part-time at blank. She works part-time at the Lansing Center.
Okay. Any allocution on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Simpson is another person who has taken full responsibility for her actions regarding her pets. She understands that while she wasn't a person leasing her animal out on the public, that it was an animal underneath her control, and that an unfortunate incident did result while that pet belonged to her. And she's another person who took immediate responsibility and correction in regards to this. She understood that it was a serious situation, that there was an allegation of a bite that happened. And so she had the animal dealt with in a way that she felt was appropriate for the safety of the people in the area. All my interactions with her have indicated that she takes this seriously, that she takes responsibility for it, and then she has nothing but the desire to correct any mistakes that were made. As I said, she is working, she works at the Lansing Center, and she is a mother. So it's important to her to correct mistakes and to be a kind of positive example and a positive force in her children's life, as well as continuing to support them. I don't believe it was particularly indicated in the report beyond fines and costs at the court's discretion, but I would ask Your Honor to waive any attorney's fees in this matter. Thank you.
Ms. Simpson, what do you want to tell the court today?
That I definitely know that my dog bit this young man, and I'm just trying to make sure that he's okay, and my son knows not to do that again. That's why I'm trying to make it to every court day on time, pay whatever I have to pay to get this resolved as soon as possible. So I just want to put my condolences to the kid about his leg, because I really feel bad about it. But I know I'd never have a dog again. I know that. I would never want to go through that again with another person. So I'm done with dogs, and I'm just going to work and continue to take care of my kids.
Thank you, Ms. Simpson. I appreciate your commentary today. I did review the pre-sentence report. I don't think it fully took into consideration the fact that it was supposed to be a 771.1, so I'm going to do that at sentencing here. The risk assessment would indicate that you are at low risk. The dog was euthanized after this event, so it's not an ongoing issue, and you don't seem to be of interest to have animals at this time in any event. So I do think that fines and costs are appropriate, and sort of a non-reporting probation, just making sure that you pay the fines and costs, and if that's done successfully in this period, then the case would ultimately be dismissed. So ma'am, the fine is $100, court cost of $200, a $75 crime victim fee. I'm going to reduce the attorney fee to $100 and $50 state minimum cost. That will be paid over 6 months. It's a non-reporting probation, ma'am. You're just going to be facilitating these payments of fines and costs under 771.1. And if you pay all those fines and costs in that period of time, the case will be dismissed.
Okay.
Is there anything you don't understand about that payment?
No, ma'am, I understand.
All right, what I need you to do within 48 hours is to contact the probation department, and they'll talk to you about making a payment plan. You won't be reporting to them monthly or anything, and there's no additional fees for the probation, but whatever payment plan that you work with, then you're going to need to facilitate that over the next 6 months. If you do that successfully, this case will be dismissed. If you don't have it paid, then you'd be back in front of the sentencing judge and making the case may not end up being dismissed, or there may have to be some other conclusion to the case, but you've got an opportunity here now to make this case be dismissed.
I definitely understand.
All right, so contacting probation within 48 hours.
Yes, ma'am, will do.
Thank you.
Thank you. All
You are all set with the court.
right.
I think I have this Asia Williams.
She's a warrant status. Her file's on the warrant door.
So nobody from the bond company shows up, or they don't produce the body. I'm gonna need that file to write in that they can.
Okay.
Let's just wait to see. if anybody shows up. On the record, People versus Tavion McLean, 2103202. Mr. Franklin, do you need to meet in the breakout room with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
Yeah, I think they reset it from 1 o'clock to 9:30, or they moved it up or something like that. And then Tammy talked about it yesterday. For a lot of Callahan.
It's in here under the right time. Mr. Yang, is your client with you?
She is not, Your Honor. She's supposed to be zooming in by 9:30. I was in contact with her yesterday. I can send her a quick message to say that for her to ask her to log in early.
No, I just was asking.
Okay, thank you.
Hello,
Someone's joined the Zoom meeting by iPhone. What is your name, please?
Alana Callahan.
Thank you.
She was coming as a witness.
Oh. Callahan, thank you for getting your prints done.
You're welcome.
Mr. Yang, the prosecutor just stepped out to call a victim, so we're just waiting for her to step back into the courtroom.
No problem, Your Honor.
Someone's joined the Zoom meeting on a Galaxy A11. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Anna Brown.
Thank you. Ms. Sutter, do you need to meet with Ms. Brown in a breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Room 1, Ms. Sutter.
Thank you.
Record People versus Alana Callahan, 2102521, date and time scheduled for pretrial. Counsel appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Crystal Murphy on behalf of people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Ying on behalf of Ms. Callahan. We are both present via Zoom and consent to having this hearing via Zoom.
Thank you. Mr. Yang, what was your client going to be doing today?
Thank you, Your Honor. Today's date and time set for a second pretrial. An offer has been extended of a retail fraud third. Ms. Callahan would like to take advantage of that offer as extended, and we'd also like to petition for HIDA.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm looking at the notes of the courtroom APA, and she had mentioned it's an amending count 1, which she doesn't have in our notes, but yes, that's fine with the people.
And no objection to HIDA.
No objection to it.
Your Honor, if I may add, there's a restitution amount of $924.89. That would be joint and several with her other 2 co-defendants. So I'm not sure what that amount is anymore, but that was the original amount that would be joint and several.
Then Ms. Callahan, is that your understanding of your plea bargain?
Yes.
So you'll be pleading guilty to 1 count of retail fraud third, which is a misdemeanor punishable up to 93 days in jail and up to a $500 fine.
Yes.
People are not objecting to a special status under Holmes Euclid Trainee Act. However, I don't know if you're eligible for that. We'll see if you are. And also there is restitution that's joint and several between you and 2 other co-defendants. You may be required to pay all of it or a third of it, depending on whether or not the other 2 are collectible or not. So just so you understand that.
Okay. Yes.
All right, and no one's forced you or threatened you to enter that plea today?
No.
No one's made you any promises other than what we've just talked about on the record?
No.
And you do have rights in this matter, ma'am. As a misdemeanor, you have a right to trial by judge or jury and a right to assistance of a lawyer. Mr. Yang, were you conflict counsel on this?
Yes, Your Honor.
So Mr. Yang was appointed for you at public expense. You may have to repay some of the expense of that lawyer. The court would make that determination at the time of sentencing. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to call witnesses to speak for you and get a court order to have them appear. You'd also have a right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You could be a witness for yourself, or you could choose to remain silent. And if you remain silent, then the prosecutor cannot comment on that silence. You also have a right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So if you plead guilty today to this reduced charge, then you will not have a trial of any kind. And you will give up the rights that I've just listed for you. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
Do you understand you're going to give up those rights by entering your plea today?
Yes.
And are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, under penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Ms. Callahan, back on June 16th of 2020, had you been at the Target East 500 East Edgewood here in the city of Lansing, Ingham County?
Yes.
Target open at the time you were there?
Yes.
Take some property that belonged to the store?
Yes.
Was it your intent to leave the store without paying for those items?
Yes.
And the value for this purposes had a value between $200 and $1,000.
Yes.
Right, satisfied with that plea, Ms. Murphy?
People are satisfied, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Yang?
The defense is satisfied, Your Honor.
Court is satisfied the plea is freely, knowingly, and voluntarily given. Count 1 will be dismissed. Retail fraud 3rd will be accepted. Can you send this? I know. My sentencing date. Oh. Mateo has it. Thank you. So, man, I'm going to give you a sentencing date. Within 24 hours, you need to report yourself to my probation department, which is on the 5th floor of City Hall. And they'll have some forms for you to fill out and some probably a questionnaire with regard to their making a determination of whether you're eligible for that special status. And then you'll be back here with your lawyer for your sentencing. At this time, we're still doing them on Zoom, but that may change.
Okay.
February 25th at 10 a.m. is your sentencing date.
Okay.
All right. So you understand you need to come down in person to the probation department to fill out those forms within 24 hours. 5th floor, City Hall.
Yes.
Right, very good. And otherwise, your bond is continued.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ms. Callahan, you're all set with the court today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On the record, People versus Anna Brown, 2102801, date and time scheduled for final pretrial conference, council appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Crystal Murphy on behalf of people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender on behalf, Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Brown.
Ms. Murphy?
Your Honor, if I may have one moment to check the hall for the complainant. Would the court allow for that? Sure. Thank you.
Josh handling Jeremy Porter. Hour and a half early.
Order is Josh. Someone's joined the Zoom meeting on Tavion's iPhone. Please state your full name.
Tavon McLean.
Thank you. McLean, your lawyer's working with another party right now.
Your Honor, I'm contacting the hallway there. I'm sorry.
But Mr. McLean, I'm just gonna put you in the waiting room until Mr. Franklin's available.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Murphy, as to Ms. Brown.
Oh, yes, that's okay, Judge. The complaining witness is not in the hallway, so people do not have a complaining witness today and cannot proceed.
Ms. Sutter,
I have no objection, no comment, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I would have no objection to the charge being dismissed without prejudice and no comment thereafter.
People being unable to proceed, the case will be dismissed without prejudice. Now, Ms. Brown, you're all set today. The people would have an opportunity to recharge the same offense if they get other witnesses together. So you understand that, but as of today, the case is dismissed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Zoom meeting.
You can log off, Ms. Brown.
All right, thank you for all your help.
Mhm.
And People versus Kavion McLean, 2103-202, council appearances.
Morning, Your Honor. Crystal Murphy on behalf of people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Franklin here on behalf of my client, Mr. McLean.
And I wasn't sure if you'd already spoken with Mr. McLean or you need to speak with Ms. Murphy.
No, Your Honor, my client and I have had an opportunity to talk about the case, and we would just like to request a final pretrial at this time.
January 19 at 11:30. Do you hear that date and time?
Yes, I do.
Still on the Stillwell address?
Yes, I am.
All right, the bond and the no contact order still remain in force and effect.
Okay.
Thank you. You can leave the Zoom meeting, Mr. McLean. Thank you.
Thank you.
And who was here on the courtesy?
Oh, it was Jeremy Porter's here. He's here an hour and a half early.
Well, they got a minute if you want to put him in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a- oh, well, gotta wait for victim.
All right. Yeah, I thought so.
Are you guys do your final pre-trials in person or
They subpoena a victim to come,
okay.
but
Should I just
for the defendant, no. For
okay.
the victim, yeah. Just grab that Asa Williams style when you go in there and I'll just sign it and you can put it right back. If you want to. Good morning. Is your client here? No, not yet. Oh. The record, People versus Asa Williams, 2102781. Today was the date and time scheduled for a surety bond show person for this party failing to appear. This case was scheduled for 9:30. It's now 9:48 and no one from the bonding company has appeared. The court will forfeit the bond. You can have a seat, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll let him know that I don't worry about it.
She said 50, 'cause that's not.
Oh, I thought she was. There. Ms. Murphy, have you met this woman here? She's from your case.
And I wanted to ask the court, does the court have a copy of the bond violation?
Yeah, report.
Would it be possible, if I could have a copy of it?
Sure. Why don't you just look at it?
Oh, sure, that works too. Thank you.
The warrant generation.
Or,
53 violation that came. I don't see the warrant itself. It might be in that stack that she has. Galaxy A25, please state your full name.
Sierra Castle Calca.
Thank you.
so I could afford it, though.
Can you look through it, see if on the record, People versus Sierra Castle, Calca 2103124, date and time scheduled for final pretrial council appearances.
People.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Franklin on behalf of my client, Ms. Castle Kelka.
It's a little bit early for pretrial. Ma'am, can you find a seat and just sit down for a bit? You're in court. All right. And Mr. Franklin, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with her and then we'll check the halls and that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll briefly speak with Ms. Miller.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
She came from Wayne County, she said, and she's been subbing in mostly when she's been here, but. I don't know if she's been- Name's Crystal Murphy. How's your fiance?
What's up?
How's she doing?
She's fine. She still has no taste or smell,
Okay.
but she has no other symptoms right now other than that. So she's kind of just been bored at the
Yeah.
apartment, not being able to do
Say
anything.
they amended all those guidelines yesterday, so I wasn't sure
Yeah.
which section she was in, 2 before and 3 after, I think. If
And
you've been back since.
Yeah, and I don't, it changes so much. It's
It may
hard,
be different as a teacher. She's
Yeah.
got different rules for that.
it's so hard to keep up with.
I told Tom to see if we could cancel our trip. Just so I didn't want to have to deal with all that.
Yeah.
Taking care of that today. But, you know, even if we got there, I'm sure their staffing at those
Yeah.
kind of places. I don't want to sit around a hotel room just to come out.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's that Justin's is in Cancun?
Yeah, she's
That, yeah.
no, I don't think, well, I know
We were all worried about
for
her
the new
flight,
year.
that's
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
the new year, she's supposed to be going somewhere with her family, so she should be coming back. Should be back if not soon
Okay.
from Cancun. She's going- I think she's supposed to be going skiing. for New Year's, so that's not in Cancun. For sure.
I know. My husband and I said, I don't even know if they snow anywhere.
Right, that is true.
We were just up north and they didn't.
Really?
I mean, I know they're making it, but not, it's not the fun stuff.
Yeah.
She is a hardy traveler. I like that.
She is. I want to be like that when I grow up.
Seems like there's so many breakthrough cases all the time now. That's the 5th one in my family alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my brother, he's vaccinated and he ended up getting COVID too. So I'm like, this is crazy at this point. So
Does he have reduced symptoms or?
I feel like, well, I feel like even when he was younger, when he gets sick, he's really sick.
Oh, okay.
So
Maybe
I think he was
Maybe
still
relax
pretty
and
sick.
maybe somewhere in his.
Yeah.
I probably called him, I've been here 20 years. I probably called him sick twice.
I wish I had that type of immune
Yeah,
system.
I don't. Just don't. My husband gets one every year. I mean, and just,
Yeah, my immune system is not the best,
yeah.
unfortunately. I got my mom's immune system. My dad never gets sick.
Make one with this.
Sure, thank you. Do you actually want a physical copy? I can make one. You can-
Actually, I don't think she wishes to proceed forward.
Oh, okay, all right. Is that overall or just the no contact order?
I believe overall.
Okay. If you want to find Mr. Doyle, then you can, I don't know if his client ever appeared.
Or, yes, I believe he's out in the hallway. I'll go in.
But I mean, I obviously need his client here. but,
Sure,
yeah.
sure,
Thank you.
absolutely. was out in the hallway, but I don't see him out there anymore. I guess we'll see when he
He may
comes
have
back.
gone on the first floor to
Maybe.
facilitate the conversation. And I don't know when you were out, Ms. Sierra Castle Culpa did check in and is talking with her lawyer, and it was a final pretrial for today. at
Okay.
10.
She would, if you want me. Oh, okay. Then, no, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning.
for People versus Shanice Ash, 2103162, date and time scheduled for pretrial and no contact order violation, council appearances.
And good morning, Your Honor. Crystal Murphy on behalf of People.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dan Doyle, here on behalf of Ms. Ash, Mr. President, standing in the courtroom to my right.
Thank you. Ms. Murphy?
Your Honor, I do have the complaining witness here, Ms. Milliken. I had an opportunity to speak with her prior to the case being called today. She expressed to me that she does not wish to go forward on a case. She does not wish to be involved. That things are going well right now, things are peaceful, and she doesn't want to move forward with either proceeding. She is in the courtroom today if the court would like to ask any questions of her. If not, though, she is not interested in going forward, so the people will not be moving forward with the case.
Mr. Doyle?
Yes, Your Honor, we asked for a dismissal of our charges, Your Honor, based off of what the prosecutor has indicated.
People being unable to proceed, the court will grant that dismissal without prejudice. Ms. Ash, you understand the circumstances behind that?
Yes.
Keeping peace with other people, correct?
Right.
All right, case is dismissed today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I just did it in the job. I go back to work for trial.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for stopping down.
Absolutely.
Mr. Doyle?
Thought you were on the record earlier, Judge, so good morning.
You to put that on the record.
Okay,
I don't- Mr. Green, I don't, he may show up in person.
Okay.
Sir, you're Malik.
Could you repeat that?
You are Mr. Molitor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your case is at 11 o'clock. I'm free to keep you in the waiting room until then, or you can rejoin us at 11 for your probation violation hearing.
Okay, I'll join back at 11.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have you talked with your lawyer, sir?
I have not this morning. Been able to get a hold of.
Your case, it wasn't until 10:30, so
I just decided to show up a little bit earlier.
and that's fine. I just want to let you know that sometimes people appear right on time or.
Okay. Maybe I should step out and give them a call.
It's up to you. Back on the record with Sierra Castle Calca, council appearances.
Crystal, maybe for the people, Your Honor.
Joshua Franklin, Your Honor, on behalf of my client, Ms. Castle Calca.
This was scheduled for final pretrial today at 10. Ms. Murphy?
Your Honor, before this case was called, I had an opportunity to speak with the complaining witness over the telephone out in the hallway, John Hopkins at length. He indicated to me a lot of worry and a lot of concern. I indicated to him that if he was not going to be present today, that the court would ultimately dismiss the case. He expressed a lot of concern, he wasn't really sure what to do. I told him to come down to court. I told him that his presence was needed. If the court would be willing to recall this matter, maybe in 12 minutes at 10:30, he expressed that, he said, I have a baby. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to do this. And I said I would ask the judge, to maybe recall it a little bit later to give him some time. If he doesn't show up at 10:30, the people won't be able to proceed because we don't believe that we'll have him.
All right, thank you. Mr. Franklin, you've been able to discuss the case with your client.
I have, Your Honor.
They've had some verbal communication with the victim in this matter. And how does your client wish to proceed?
Your Honor, I would motion for a dismissal, being is that the complaining witness is not here and had a subpoena and had a time to be here and sounds like they're resistant. But if the court wants to wait until 10:30, defense will wait until 10:30.
Traveling with a baby in this climate right now is a little bit difficult. So I'll give that till 10:30 and see if the parties appear.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You could be on your Zoom, because this probably doesn't have a. And ma'am, you are Trina Clanton.
Yes.
Ms. Clanton, this is case 2103041. You are unrepresented today. I'm going to place you in a
Yes.
breakout room for the assistant prosecutor. Ms. Murphy will meet with you for your pretrial conference today.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
It'll just be a moment while she gets herself into the room here.
Okay.
Thank you. You can go ahead and join that room. The prosecutor will be there shortly.
Judge Ford's PCC tomorrow.
We're back on with People versus Trina Clanton. Ms. Murphy.
Your Honor, Ms. Clanton and I had an opportunity to speak. I believe if we are able to put this out until February, I believe that she indicated she'll have the funds to be able to license the dog, and then we would ultimately dismiss the case if she does come back with proof that the dog is licensed. So if the court would be able to put this out at some point in February, that would probably be best.
All right, Ms. Clanton, the court is going to adjourn this matter to February 16th at 10 a.m.
Okay,
We'll give you sufficient time to license your animal. If people are willing to do some negotiation if you take care of the animal, but you need to do that in a timely fashion, ma'am.
yeah, I know, I understand, but it was kind of like under my, it wasn't my fault really. Because I'm thinking that the dog was already licensed when the lady gave it to me. She said it was registered, but come to find out it wasn't. So,
Right. You know, you got this ticket back in early November, so.
right, and I got the dog in September. So,
Well, you have until February 16th to renew those license and get that information back to the court, okay?
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, will they be sending me some more paperwork out?
They will send you another notice to appear, and you can do it by Zoom for that February 16th date, but everything else is on you, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're free to leave the Zoom meeting today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's joined us from the Ingham County Jail. Can you please state your full name?
Yes, ma'am. My full name
What
is
is your-
Christian Spires.
Thank you. On the record, People versus Christian Spires, 2103392. Date and time scheduled for retrial, council appearances.
Crystal Murphy for the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Spires.
Like to be in a breakout room with him, Ms. Sutter?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Spires, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with Ms. Sutter. That's a private meeting room for the two of you to have a discussion about your case.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
We'll go back on the record with People versus Sierra Castle Calca. Council.
Crystal Murphy for the people, Your Honor. And if I may just very quickly run out the hallway to see if the complaint is out there. Honor, having checked the Foley now for the second time, the complaining witness, John Hopkins, common spelling, both first and last name, has failed to appear. Again, I know I already made a record of this, but I did speak with him over the phone today, earlier today, and he knew that he was supposed to be here, and he knew that if he did not show up, that the court would dismiss the case.
And Mr. Franklin, your motion to dismiss is granted without prejudice. So Ms. Castle Calca, the case is dismissed as of today, understanding that the case can still be reissued if the prosecutor has sufficient evidence. So understand that, ma'am. Peaceful contact with everyone, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. You're free to leave the Zoom meeting, ma'am. On the record, People versus Jacob Ghaffari, 2100754, date and time scheduled for pre-trial conference, council appearance.
Crystal Murphy for the people, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor. Vince Green on behalf of the defendant, Jacob Ghaffari. I am appearing by Zoom. I spoke to him about 15 minutes ago. I think he should be in the courtroom, or he was, okay, great. Thank you.
Go ahead and be seated, sir. You need to speak with your client or Ms. Murphy about this case, Mr. Green.
No, I do not, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. What did you wish to do today?
I think at this point, Your Honor, we would like to have this set for either final pretrial or jury trial. And Mr. Ghaffari and I have spoken at length about this matter, so.
We'll set it for final pretrial conference, January 19 at 11:30.
Perfect.
Mr. Ghaffari, case is going to be continued until that date. The bond is continued, as well as the no contact order stays in force and effect. You understand that?
I do understand.
All right. Other matters for the people?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else for you, Mr. Green?
Nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set, and you are all set today, sir. Thank you for coming down to the court today.
May I add a couple words of truth?
I'm sorry?
May I add a couple words of truth to this matter?
I think your lawyer would tell you not to make any commentary, because anything you say could be used against you. So you don't want to be adding things to the record.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
You all set then, Your Honor?
You are all set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Someone has joined the Zoom meeting under the name Spires. Please state your full name. Someone's joined the Zoom meeting under the name Spires. Please state your full name. Someone's joined the Zoom meeting under the name K51. Can you please unmute yourself and state your full name? K51, unmute yourself and state your full name. You talk to that person. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they have it. Says-
Yeah, case 51 says the host not allowing them in. Sir, you are Tonka House?
Yes, ma'am. There we go.
Mr. House, you're here today on case 2101347. This is an allegation that you violated your terms and conditions of probation, that during your term of probation, you failed to report to your probation officer December 13 of 2021. You failed to make monthly payments in October, November, and December. You failed to submit yourself to random tests at PATS on November 23 and 12/9, and you failed to attend an anger management group at PATS. Do you understand these allegations?
Yes, ma'am.
In this matter, you do have a right to a hearing and you have a right to a lawyer. Did you want to apply for a lawyer today?
I'm still under the impression I had my other one. Mr. Where's he at?
Mr. House, do you want to apply for a lawyer with regard to this violation?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll enter a not guilty plea. Set a probation violation hearing for January 3 at 11 a.m. Mr. Franklin, do you want to speak with Mr. House and take some information today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hello.
Join the breakout room, sir. Javon Harrell, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
You have video.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harrell, you're here on file 2101059. You're here today on an allegation that you violated your terms and conditions of probation, that during your term of probation, you failed to pay your fines and costs. You have failed to submit your random breath test and urine screens on November 15, 22, and you had an invalid test on 11/12. To understand these allegations.
Yes, ma'am.
In this matter, you have a right to a hearing and a right to a lawyer. To understand those rights.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you wish to have a court-appointed lawyer assist you on this case?
No, because it's just gonna cost me more money, and I've already been paying my court fees.
Well, a court-appointed lawyer is $0.
Oh well, then yes.
We'll take a not guilty plea, set a probation violation hearing. This will be in person, sir. January 3 at 11 a.m.
So I will have to meet my probation officer in person.
You need to meet the judge. You need to meet me in person here on January 3rd at 11 o'clock.
So you guys can just lock me up, right?
It doesn't have anything to do with it. We're having a hearing on that date. So I have to find out if you made these violations or not.
I most definitely did, ma'am. I most definitely been paying my probation thing off like I
And
supposed
I
to.
think you want to talk to your lawyer to see what's going to be in your best interests prior to your hearing next week at 11 a.m.
Well, I have work in the morning next week. Judge Alderson.
Sir, if you don't show up, a bench warrant will be issued for your arrest, and then you'll find yourself in jail in any event. So it's not in your best interest to not show up.
So I'm
You
supposed
just
to
wait a
lose
few
it.
minutes. I'll put you in a breakout room with a lawyer and you can discuss your matter with them.
All right.
did you have a Melissa Spires that you need to get?
Me, Judge?
Yes.
Yes, actually. Is she in Zoom?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello?
Ms. Spires, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with the assistant prosecutor on this case, Ms. Murphy, so you can have a conversation with her. Be just a moment till she gets in the breakout room, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know what that is.
Well, there's going to be a prompt that comes onto your screen that says join, and you just join that room, and then Ms. Murphy will be there shortly to talk with you about your case.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Do you see the prompt there?
yeah, but now you said about your case, this is my son. I'm the mother of the.
Okay.
Okay.
No, Your Honor, not the mother.
You're the mother of Mr. Spires?
Yes. Yes.
So you're not a victim in the case. All right, well, you can watch this case on YouTube if you want. We're live there. But
Okay.
interested parties are not a party to the actual meeting, okay?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Just
you.
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
If the victim is with you, they need to be here.
No, they're being detained. He's detained there. We're in a whole nother state. He was detained there. I've
Yeah, I
called
know,
and.
he is here. When I
Okay.
say victim, I don't mean defendant. Defendant is
Oh,
what
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Spires is.
I'm
Okay?
sorry. I'm sorry. I
That's all right.
misunderstood. I'm
All
sorry.
right, well, you can watch us on YouTube. We're
Okay.
live right now. Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.
The K51 was, yes, she said she's going to log out and log back in, and if that doesn't work, she's gonna just call in to Zoom using the phone.
Great. Someone's joined the Zoom meeting as K51. State your name.
Sherry Virosis.
Thank you. And Ms. Sutter is your lawyer, and she is working with another client right now.
Okay.
When she comes to a meeting, we will put the two of you in a breakout so you can discuss your case today.
Okay.
Thank you. And Mr. Franklin, Mr. Harrell is also here, and he's requested a lawyer for a probation violation. If you could just meet with him on an intake. His probation violation hearing is January 3 at 11 a.m.
Here.
Mr. Harrell, you want to join that breakout room with
Yeah.
Mr. Franklin? Thank you. Check the hall for Kevin.
And then Mr. Porter that was here, he's not here anymore either.
Was the late guy showed up?
He showed up an hour and a half
Yeah,
early.
yeah, so he's gone.
Someone's joined the Zoom meeting at 517-888-888 phone number. Please state your full name.
Teresa Donovan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Donovan, your lawyer is working with another client right now. I'm going to put you in the waiting room, and as soon as he's available, we'll bring you back in. It's going to be a little bit, though.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Molitor, I've got you checked in again. And again, your lawyer is just with another client right now. As soon as he becomes available, we'll bring you back into the main meeting.
Okay.
Thanks. You talked with whoever Willie Demas is.
Tried to.
Oh, okay. Mr. White, are you there? Toby White. All right, back on the record with Christian Spires, Ms. Sutter.
Yes, Your Honor, would it be possible to briefly speak with Ms. Murphy?
Sure.
Thank you.
She's just making her way out in the hallway to sign in, so I'll just be a minute.
Understood. Thank you.
It'll be room 3 for you when you get there.
Thank you.
This is her new phone number.
Okay, that's the only change.
No,
Oh.
on the cover sheet. They left out
Oh,
Ashley.
Ashley,
You probably have a middle name. You probably have to scroll around so they
yeah,
can-
come on around here so they can see you.
Mr. White, your video and audio are on. We can hear all that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor.
Is Miss Orr with you?
She is. Let me just adjust the camera and the volume so we can do this.
Something's blocking half of your screen.
That's. Yeah. What's going on? That's a little better. There, now are we both visible?
Yes, you are. So on the
All right.
record, People versus Ashley Orr. This is file 2101833, date and time schedule for sentencing on a child abuse fourth. Council appearance.
Thank you, Toby White. I'm here on behalf of Ashley Orr, and as she's seen in the camera, and we are both consenting to the sentencing being done by Zoom conference.
Thank you. Did the two of you have an opportunity to go over that pre-sentence report?
Yes,
Any
I have a couple.
additions, deletions, or corrections?
The full name is Ashley. They left the A off of the her name and the full name upper left-hand box.
Okay.
Okay, so there's an additional middle. Okay, so it's Ashley Janae Marie, M-A-R-I-E, or.
All right, so corrected.
She has an updated telephone number, 517-703-3239.
Thank you.
And that completes our corrections.
Any allocution on behalf of your client?
I asked the court to go along with the plea and the recommendation. I think that there was an appropriate plea, given the circumstances. Ms. Orr will not be a problem in the future. I think this rightfully scared the dickens out of her, and she won't be taking any foolish steps in the future. She wants to be a law-abiding and citizen and a good mother.
Thank you. Ms. Orr, is there anything that you want to tell the court today prior to your sentence?
No.
That was a no?
Yes.
You got to really speak up.
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Orr. The court did have an opportunity prior to today's hearing to review the pre-sentence report, and I do think it accurately reflects the position of the court in this matter, and also takes into consideration the opportunity, if you complete this successfully, ma'am, to have this case come off your record, but that's incumbent upon you doing all the things that you need to do pursuant to this sentence. You do have a moderate to low risk, which does indicate that rehabilitative services would be appropriate in this case. So there's no upfront jail. There was a sentencing or Killebrew agreement to that. So the court will not order upfront jail, but it does have fines and costs, a fine of $150 and court costs of $200, a $75 crime victim fee, and $50 state minimum costs. Your probation will be for 6 months with a $30 per month supervisory fee under that special status HYTA. Ma'am, you're not to have any kind of assaultive, threatening, or harassing behavior to anyone. No use or possession of alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substances without prescription. Submit yourself to random breath tests and urine screens to ensure that you're clean for the court's orders, and not to enter bars or nightclubs. The court is ordering that you complete a gun safety course. And outside of that, you're not to have any purchase or possession of firearms, ammunition, or weapons of any kind during this period of probation. Do you have any questions about that sentence today, ma'am?
No.
Mr. White, anything else?
Oh, nothing further. Just to ask my client, you understood the terms and conditions the judge outlined?
Yeah.
These are terms and conditions that you will be able to abide by? All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. What, or excuse me, Ms. Or you need to report to the probation department within 48 hours. Contact them so that they can go over this terms and conditions with you and make sure that you understand where you need to be and how you pay these fines and costs, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you, Your Honor, and best to you on this next chapter of your life.
Thank. Ms. Sutter, do you need another conference with Mr. Spires?
Yes, just very quickly, Your Honor. Thank you.
I might have to. Back on the record with Mr. Spires, Ms. Sutter.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution has extended an offer to Mr. Spires. That offer being if he pleads no contest to count 2 of domestic violence with an agreed restitution of $600, there would be no objection to sentencing under 7694A, and they would also dismiss count 1 of malicious destruction of personal property. And it is Mr. Spires' desire to accept that offer and plead no contest.
Does someone have a report that I can review?
Yes, Your Honor, just give me one moment and I can approach with the report.
All right, Mr. Spires, is that how you want to take care of this case today?
Yes, ma'am.
You'd be pleading no contest to count 2, and a no contest plea, I'd be reading a police report and I would be accepting that information as true in order to see if there's enough evidence for me to accept your plea. And you consent to that?
Yes, ma'am.
There's also restitution of $200. The special status that we're talking about, I don't know if you're eligible for that today. We'd have to get some information about whether you're eligible for that special status. And then the court would make that determination at time of sentencing. You don't have a right to withdraw your plea if you are not a qualified candidate for that special status.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that?
The copy
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
on the top, but the police report's underneath.
And that count 1, the malicious destruction of property, would be dismissed. You understand that domestic violence is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and up to a $500 fine plus court costs.
Yes, ma'am.
In this matter, you do have certain rights, sir. You have a right to trial by judge or jury and the right to assistance of a lawyer. One was appointed for you at public expense. You may have to repay some of the expense of that lawyer, but the court would make that determination at time of sentencing.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
you had a trial, you could call witnesses to speak for you at trial and have the court order them to be here. You would have a right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you. You'd also have a right to be a witness for yourself, or you could choose to remain silent. And if you remain silent, then the prosecutor could not comment on that silence. And you also have a right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you plead guilty or no contest and your plea is accepted, you'll not have a trial of any kind and you will give up the rights that I just listed.
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Murphy, before I get too much further, that was your plea bargain, correct?
Correct, Your Honor, I just want to make sure it was $600 for restitution.
$600 restitution. Was that the number that you knew, Ms. Sutter, $600 restitution?
Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, I was waiting to correct you as well. That was the offer was 600.
So Mr. Spire's understanding it would be $600 restitution.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you plead guilty today and the plea is accepted, you'll not have a trial of any kind and you will give up the rights that I just listed for you. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Any question for the court about your rights?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to discuss them further with your lawyer?
No, ma'am.
You understand you'll be giving up those rights by entering a guilty plea today?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you
I
currently
understand.
on probation or parole?
No, ma'am.
What
No.
are you in jail for?
Domestic violence. I did
This
domestic
case that you're
violence.
talking about or something else?
Your Honor, he's
This
currently in
case-
custody on this charge. He cannot afford the bond.
Okay, thank you. All right. Sir, can you, we're pleading no contest. Just a minute, the court's going to read the police report and make a determination if there's sufficient factual basis for this charge.
These are the charges.
Court's had an opportunity to review the Lansing Police Department incident report and does find that on December 14th of 2021, that the defendant was at 4025 West Jolly Road, Apartment 11 here in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. He was there with Shimmery McFadden, who had been in a dating relationship, and that pursuant to an argument that he did hit her in the face several times. So the court does find that there's sufficient factual basis for the domestic violence. Count one would be dismissed pursuant to the plea bargain.
And Your Honor, if I may just briefly, when the court would allow.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say?
I did mention to Ms. Sutter when we were in that, I would just ask that no contact be a part of that with the complaining witness. And then that would be all that the people would have to add.
Okay, and there is currently a no contact order in place. So
Is my
that would-
understanding.
that would
Yes.
stand.
Okay, great.
First at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of the judge on Tuesday. So either Friday. I mean, I don't know, you might, but.
date.
Like March 3 or something.
Yeah. At 10 o'clock.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Spires, your sentencing date is going to be March 3 at 10 a.m. The no contact order stays in force in effect. Do you know what that means?
Yes, ma'am.
So not to be within 1,500 feet of her work, school, or residence, and I think the release on this case had a GPS tether. Ms. Sutter on bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I be briefly heard in regards to the bond?
What I just asked for, Ms. Sutter on bond.
Sorry, thank you, Your Honor. As Mr. Spires has indicated, he is aware that there is the no contact order. I don't believe he would also be objectionable to the GPS tether. He does currently have the bond, however, he cannot afford it. He is indigent. He does not have the money to post the bond. I would respectfully request the court convert this to a PR bond so that he may be released.
Not clear that I understood your thing. He can't afford the tether, but he can't afford the bond, or they have a tether available under the jail program?
I apologize, Your Honor. I don't believe he would be objectionable to a tether. However, it might be a financial burden to him as well, as he currently can't afford the bond he has already.
Ms. Murphy.
Your Honor, just so I understand, is the defendant currently outfitted with a GPS tether? Is that part of his bond conditions or no?
It is part of his bond conditions, yes. He is not, he only had a 1,010% bond. He couldn't afford that bond. And I don't know if this late in the year, whether there's sufficient funds that would be available for him to qualify for the free GPS tether system that's there. And sometimes they are, sometimes they don't, depends on.
Sure, okay. With that being the case, Your Honor, as the court knows, ability to pay is not a prerequisite for bond. I believe that bond would be appropriate in this case. If the court is willing to grant the defendant a PR bond, the people would definitely request the GPS tether remain in place just for the safety of the complaining witness, given that this is a domestic violence case.
Okay. So the court is going to reduce the bond to $500 personal recognizance. You can apply for the GPS tether program with regard to that matter, and the court would hear argument if he wasn't eligible for that. Anything else, Ms. Sutter?
I do not believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Spires, if you are released, you need to report to the 54A District Court probation within 24 hours of your release. I'll let you know that we are closed Thursday and Friday. So if you're out one of those days, you need to report it on Monday. You need to come in person. If you're still in jail, someone will contact you out there to do some inquiry. But it's important that you make that direct contact with the probation department if you are out of jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And by that, I mean you need to come down in person, not try to call.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you are all set today. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Someone in the waiting room for you, Ms. Sutter, but I think they've left, so just make them up.
Okay, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm sorry, would it be briefly possible to be heard off of live stream and off the record?